Well, I guess you should probably do the song.
Oh, does the song come first?
Yeah, the song
of
comes
course it
first.
does. I need a beat, but can we go slower?
Oh, do you want to go slow? I've got a present for you.
I do.
Okay.
I have a present.
Oh, you actually prepped this.
I feel like this was prearranged.
What? Okay, you're going to play it on guitar. Okay. What are you even going to do?
I don't know.
You're going to improv? I don't think I've ever seen you improv.
We write worship songs. You know what that means? 4 chords.
Yeah, okay. But it's not going to be that long. Are we even going to get to the 4th chord?
Find out.
Joel, is this going to work?
We'll find out.
Okay.
Trial and error.
No. I already hate it.
This is the Made Creative Podcast. We got a special guest today. We're gonna ask a lot to find out exactly what she's all about. So welcome to the Made Creative Podcast, probably episode 20.
Nice.
Hello and welcome to the Make Creative Podcast, your monthly podcast of creativeness. I can't think of a better intro, and my name is Sam.
Sam does the same thing every week.
With me today is Connor.
Hey, how you guys doing?
And we have a special guest today. It's a very special guest. Connor, it's a special guest.
It is. It's a special
I feel like
guest.
I have way more energy than you, and this is not usual.
Yeah.
But sorry. But her name is Hannah. Hi, Hannah.
Hey.
Hannah, who are you and why are you here?
I'm just a stranger you picked off the street. Yeah.
Yeah, we do that.
I just saw the open door and I walked in and I was like, hey.
Yeah, can I join?
No, my name is Hannah and I am the new pianist to Made Creative.
New pianist.
Pianist.
Is that how you say it?
Pianist?
Pianist, yeah.
No, pianist.
Pianist.
Keyboardist?
Pianist.
Keys player.
Isn't it pianist?
No.
Why?
Because look, someone could correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure it's a pianist.
Does not sound right.
I know, but that's the
I
whole
was
joke,
like
right?
keyboardist.
That's the whole joke. Is that's why everyone makes fun of that, because it sounds like it's something else.
Okay, I'll say keyboardist.
Okay. I'm glad we got there, guys. That was a team effort right there. We got there.
We made it.
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, we have a new keyboardist. We also have a new singer as well, but I'm sure you'll meet her later. But we have a new keyboardist, and that is Hannah. And we're very excited. She's joined us now for, 2 months? 2 months?
Yeah, she would have joined in December, right?
Yeah, no, I think it was before December. I think it was like November.
Oh, it was actually before December.
3 months?
Yeah, 3 months. 3 months.
Yeah.
She's passed her probation. That's why she's on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we do 3 months, not 6 months. And we sat down. We had the checklist of things. We're happy. She could play a key. So that's always helpful.
Just one.
Yeah. Where all our new songs are in C. It's the only key.
That would make things a lot easier.
Yeah, that's very true. But it's not how it works. So yeah, Hannah, how did you get involved with being the keyboardist?
Basically, I used to play volleyball with Connor and Ruben, who is and Sam actually.
Oh, that's so funny.
Well, yeah. I mean, you used to play as well. Yeah. So I used to play volleyball with you guys, and then you guys started writing music and started bringing it to volleyball every now and then. And I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And then volleyball finished. We didn't really see each other. And then, Connor came over one day. We wrote a song, and he was like, hey, we need a new keyboardist. And I was like, hey.
What's up? I think I can play keyboard. Yeah, I forgot. You were one of the first people to hear songs from our first album.
Yeah, I remember the first song you wrote, and you literally came to volleyball. And didn't you write it I think you'd written it either just before the last session of volleyball or just the night before that session.
Yeah.
And
I
you
think it
guys
was the same night.
We were sitting at Macca's, and you guys were like, look at what we created. And I was like,
And that song was Staring Back.
Yeah.
Staring Back
That's
was the
crazy.
first one. So.
Yeah. So you've been around for a while, and we actually, it wasn't just randomly on one night. Connor decided to ask you, or one day, or whenever you guys were writing, I don't know the time. Sorry, I'm not with it today, obviously. But we were planning to ask you for a while.
Yeah, it must have been.
I didn't know that.
It must have been the good part of I reckon a good part of 8 months at least.
Connor kept putting it off, and I was like, I'll just do it.
You should have, honestly, should have.
No, I think the timing was good. I think everything worked out exactly when it was supposed to.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
Yeah. So you're now the new keyboardist. How are you finding playing songs you've never heard before?
It's good. It's definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
It's got obviously I've never been a part of a band before. I've done played at church and stuff. But most of the time I just write my own stuff, create my own rhythm to things and whatnot. So to have to do it with a band and be creative but also fit in with everyone has been challenging but good because I like learning new things.
Yeah. And how's been, I know you songwrite, so this isn't completely new to you, but how is coming up with your parts been,
It's interesting. It's interesting, I think, because usually when I'm writing at home, I just kind of do whatever I want and I don't play with a metronome or anything. So it's I don't have to keep in time. I can go slow here, go fast there, sound however I want. But when I'm playing in a band, I've got to stay in time, go slow here, go fast, pick it up, don't play.
Yeah, it's a bit more direction to it all.
Yeah.
Which is good, is good. I probably need to learn some of that.
Yeah. Because, I feel like there's a big difference between writing the initial song and then obviously
writing in the band sense,
writing
absolutely,
in a band sense. It feels completely different to me because where you think the song could go is not always where it goes with a full band, or it sounds drastically different from what you did. We have a incredibly frustrating song at the moment that's finally getting done that we just didn't know what to do with for ages.
And it was funny because even when Sam and I were writing it, this is exactly the same. It was oh man, this song could be fast or slow. I don't know. I don't know really what the tempo of this song is, and I think that's what kind of what we got hung up on.
Yeah.
It was the whole the tempo of it. Is it going to be a more energy, or is it going to be a slow chill song? And it just didn't. It wasn't super clear. So I think we figured it out now. So
yeah.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah,
I know, right? So Hannah's going to be going around to churches. She's got her first church. She's going around to this Sunday with the whole band at Austin Cove. And she's also going to be recording with us later on in the year, which we haven't said out loud before. But yeah, we're recording later on in the year.
We're recording. Second album is no date yet, but we're writing and we're going to get into the studio at some point this year and get excited. Yeah, get really excited.
I think they're better than our first album.
Sorry?
I think we've gotten better than our first album.
I hope so.
Definitely.
Writing and composing and all that. So
yeah, that's right. And just the team, the team's getting bigger, right? Make Great a Family, the band, and everything's getting bigger, and people are getting more involved, and people have broken out of the whole this is a new thing to I'm actually comfortable when I know where people are at. And it makes it really comfortable to write.
Yeah. So that's cool. So Hannah, tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us your journey, how long you've been a Christian, what the kind of journey has been for you up until this point.
Okay.
Let people get to know Hannah.
There's a lot to know.
Go back to Teen Challenge. When I technically met Hannah for the first time.
Wait, when did you technically meet me from?
I met you in Queensland.
Oh, yeah.
When we were very, very little.
Yeah. I don't really remember that, though. But, basically, I've grown up in a Christian home my whole life. And, it's been good. I think we were in Perth and then we moved to Queensland for 6 years. And I don't really remember much because I was only, we left when I was 6. And, it was good, a lot of different experiences, flying and all that, and then came back here and we've been living here. And we moved to Camp Wattle Grove. Dad was missions, the camp leader for that, and that was cool. But that meant that he did a lot of long hours, so we didn't see him much. So then we moved to Armidale and we've been there, and then now we live in Mundijong. So I think we've travelled around a lot and it's been good. My Christian walk, basically, as I said, I've grown up in a Christian home my whole life. And then when we came back to Australia, or Perth, not Australia, because we're still in Australia.
Queensland's pretty far away.
Let's be honest. WA treats itself like it's its own country.
Basically,
so, you know.
yeah. So, when we came back to Perth, we joined a church called Card Up Home Church, and it was just like a little home church that people started. It started really small and then got bigger. And so I went to church there for most of what I can remember up until I think about 4 years ago is when it kind of a lot of things happened in the church, and then it kind of deflated, and a lot of people left, the leaders left, and then, we all kind of got a little lost. So it threw a spanner in the works, I think, definitely, because you kind of go from having a big family that you see every Sunday to not having that, and it's been different ever since then. But I think obviously you do the usual, like, you know, you grow up in a Christian home and you kind of go, I'm a Christian. But it wasn't until I got baptized at 16 and made the decision to be a Christian that I was like, well, okay, I want to be a Christian.
This is the thing. I'm
This is the thing that I'm doing.
Made my decision. And then I think I went through probably my hardest teenage years when I was 17 and 18, and I kind of, I think it tested me a lot. Kind of getting into work life, I started hairdressing, and everything in the hairdressing industry is great, but it's also you work with a lot of females, and so that's always interesting.
Yeah, okay.
Dealing with people is always fun. And then I think my Christian walk has been a journey ever since the beginning, as it always is.
Yeah.
But some days I feel really strong, and other days I'm like, okay, I need to sit down, read my Bible, and like just have some time and just feel.
Yeah, for sure. Christian life is always a journey, you know. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
True that. True that.
Yeah, cool. What got you into playing keyboard and writing songs and all that sort of stuff?
I nagged my mum and dad. I don't know. I think it ended up being like 2 years. So I started when I was 10. But before that, so I was like 8 to 10, I nagged, and I was just like, Mum, I really want to play keys. And she had been forced by her mum to play keys. And so she was like, I don't want to force that on you. So she like waited, and she was like, I want it to be something that you really want to do. And I was like, I really want to do it. And so, then finally when I turned 10, they were like, okay, we're going to pay for lessons. And then I got my first little tiny electric keyboard, which I think had only like 3 octaves on it. That was it. And it was like, didn't have a pedal, nothing. And so I started on that. And then I think about 6 months into playing on that, they were like, we need to upgrade you to a proper piano. So I got my big Yamaha piano. It's like, it's so nice. It's nice. And then, went from there. And, music is just kind of, I've always related to music, but it's kind of like my biggest outlet where I can just I think express my feelings. And so whenever I'm up, down, around, if I sit down at piano, I can just spend hours, like literally before I came here. I almost thought I was going to be late because I spent from when I finished work ended up getting home at 12 till 2, just sitting at the piano, just doing random stuff.
Nice.
It sort of like processes you, right? Yeah, because I definitely get that. Like, especially like, I don't know, even when I'm tired, even if it's not like, if I'm not particularly moody, I'm just tired. Like, I find it's just like processes me and just like puts me into like just super chilled, relaxed sort of like.
100%.
Yeah,
awesome.
And so with that, what got you into actually like writing songs? Because there's a difference between like playing and writing stuff. Like, what got you into
I think I always wanted to be able to write songs. And it was kind of, as a little kid, you're like, oh yeah, like I wrote this, but you don't really understand the concept of writing a song. And then I think I wrote my first song for my Alma's, I can't remember how old she was turning, but anyway, it was her birthday. And so I wrote her like a birthday song. That was like my first official song. And then I think...
Did it go, happy birthday?
Basically, yeah. It kind of went on like along the lines of that, but And then when I really started writing songs was through my hard years like in 17, 18 was when I actually really started like writing my own music and expressing my feelings through that. I lost, like I am into animals and I had a horse, and so I lost my horse. And so I kind of lost that. I would just, whenever I was like up, down or whatever, I would just get on her and we'd just run. We'd just go for a ride, we'd jump and everything. And then when she passed away, I kind of like lost that. So got into like writing songs through that and all of that. And then, yeah, just ever since then, it's like if a lot of the time it's honestly how I express, but then also how I like dwell on things sometimes. And so I think I just, once I've written a song, I'm able to kind of go, okay, I've written a song about it. Now I can put it behind me.
Okay.
And so I can I can go back and sing the song, but like if there's something really bothering me, I'll write a song about it and be like, there you go, I've said what I needed to say. I won't show, like I might not show it to anyone or like do anything with it, but it's there. That way, if I'm ever feeling like that again, I can go back to it and go, play the song and go, I've let go of my feelings. And then go back.
So they're mainly just for you. Like they're mainly just for you and to help you work through emotions and
Yeah,
stuff, and then
I
you
think
kind of
so.
move on from that. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
That's really cool. Yeah.
I would love to share my music around, but I think I do make them more so personal that, not so personal as in like a lot of them are speaking from experience and like my personal experiences that I would like to share them, but they're also kind of like, yeah, they're definitely more so for me.
Yeah. What's your type of style? Like, what do you usually write? Your style?
I don't know. I think a lot of my style is like little slower.
A little slower?
Sad kind of.
Ballady?
Not like super sad. Like I don't think I've written a song that I like sit down and I just like, get into like a good mood from it. Most of it is because I'm expressing my feelings that like it goes a little slower.
Yeah. I feel like it's harder sometimes to write an up-tempo song.
I love it. I
know you do.
I love it.
I know you do.
But
love
especially on
that
piano
tempo.
though. Like on guitar.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah.
I get
On
you.
guitar,
Yeah,
I
just-
could definitely get. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not quite as easy.
I think I feel definitely I've written slower songs or sadder songs. They're like sad and whatever, but like, and it's weird because like, I guess your whole persona changes as right. Even when you're like, if you're singing it or whatever, you like, you feel how you felt when you write it, when you wrote it. So, yeah, sorry, just personal reflection there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely.
What's your favorite thing to write? Is it the music? Is it the vocal melody, or is it the lyrics, or is it all?
I think it depends on the song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like the piano part is like fun, but it's also, I hate like writing a song but then having it sound like, I do too often that I'll be halfway through like playing with something and then it turns into a song that's already been made.
Yeah,
and I'm
sure.
like, ugh.
Oh, you mean like as in like a song that's like someone else has made, or like some pop star's written or whatever, and you like realize it sounds similar.
So then I'm like, ugh. Now I have to go and like rewrite it or something.
Yeah, I would always, once I finished a song, especially when I was younger, I'd run out to Dad. I was like, Dad, check this out. Like I'd want to show off because I was so excited about it, and I'd be playing it, and my dad would be like, oh, that kind of sounds like Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. And I was like, oh no. And then I like, at first I thought it was a bad thing, and then I was like, hang on, no, wait a minute. I know I didn't plagiarize it, so I feel okay about it. You know, 'cause it's
true,
like if I feel like maybe I'm on the right track, you know. Not that I wrote anything like it. It wasn't really that similar. It was just like it was like a little riff in it that my dad was like, oh, my dad likes Pink Floyd, so
I just switched the
Nice.
key. I find that I write in a key, like the same key for like multiple songs, and then I'm
right,
like,
okay.
it just feels like it sounds the same.
Yeah.
All right, move the capo.
okay, but it's a totally different thing
it's
now.
totally
Unfortunately,
different.
I
It's
can't
totally
really
fine.
move the capo on the piano.
Yeah.
I wish I could. That would
You
be
can change
very
the tuning of a keyboard, right? Like you can do
Yeah,
that.
but, yeah,
You can?
on
Yeah.
on some of them, on
On
some
some of them,
keyboards,
yeah.
yeah, you can.
You can transpose
transpose the keyboard
Yeah.
up. But you can
It's really
also
bad
just like
to do,
you can just
though.
like
It's not-
just move it on an octave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The MIDI controller I had at my place was transposed like 2 keys for the longest time ever, and I had no idea how to change it back.
Yeah. yeah.
By the way,
You're
Joel's here. Hi,
yeah, Joel's
Yeah.
here. Say hello, Joel.
Hey, Joel.
Hello.
We forgot to introduce him.
Yeah, cool. So, wow. Yeah. All right. So it changes every song. What
like
you like.
sometimes I'll sit down and like, so currently I have a chorus of like words that is written and I've got the melody to it and all of that, but I can't that is the only part that I can write. I've tried to write like a verse to it, but I'm like, do I make it slower? Do I make it faster? It doesn't really sound good in any like of the like what I'm playing. So I've literally just got that bit. So that like you know, and I wrote the words first and then put the melody to it. So
yeah,
then
so I was going to ask. Did you do words first and then melody, or melody then
again,
words?
it's different.
It's just different every time. Okay, yeah.
Because sometimes I'll just be like, I mess around a whole heap where I'll just like be like singing. So even like today, I was just like, I get kind of a few, what do you call it, chords that I'll play in like a progression, but then I'll just say or sing like just random lines.
Basically improvising.
And I'll video myself and then I'll go back and
Listen
I'll be
to it
like,
and,
oh, that sounds good. Those two lines,
yeah.
put those two lines together, write them over here and like,
That's so interesting. A couple of the songs that are going to be on our new album that I came up with the choruses of have happened because I was sitting in the car and just started singing something like words and all. There's no music, just like singing it. Like no music to it.
I used to get my recorder at like my phone, and
Yeah.
just start recording me, and then if I was on walk, I'd just start singing. But I've never actually turned any of those into songs.
Well, then I would go and put music to it.
Yeah.
But that was the hard bit for me, was trying to figure out how to put music to it.
yeah.
Because I would just be like, oh, I've got this cool thing that came out of nowhere. Like,
Literally.
Yeah, I almost always music, and then the lyrics come out of that, because I feel like the music really, the music can really show that like what the song is trying to do and what the song is.
Yeah, I think I never experiment too much, especially on piano. Like I can't do like all of like the fancy stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I tend to just start off with a chord progression and then build from there.
Yeah.
Whether you can do all like this crazy stuff on the piano, guitar.
No, I'm not very good at piano. Almost terrible. My abilities on piano is basically limited to do like doong 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 doong. You know, like
yeah. And even then, I'm like the G's over there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then Hannah will tell me that no, that's not what you want to press. You want to press this one.
I can hear from what you're singing what you want to play, but you press the key, and I'm just like, no, just move up one.
Yeah. I'm like, perfect. Yeah, sweet.
And then once you do that, you're fine.
Yeah, I always find that like this is what I'm finding the more I write, is that like the way that I work out a song is through the hook of what I write vocally. So like it's not through the music. It's like if something's really hooky for me, I can give the perfect example from the album we're about to release, but I can't say what it is.
Yeah, you got to save them. Gotta save it.
But like one of the songs we worked on, and there's another song where they both came out of finding the hook of the vocal melody before I found the chords for it at all. And that's how I find what the song's going to sound like.
Yeah.
Because of the hook of the vocal melody, which is different to you. And you can find out how Connor writes very easily by watching that video of us do the song challenge, because he's
I'm just like instantly I'm like doom doom doom, just muck around. Oh yep, that's sweet, that's what I want to do. Like, and then it's just like from then on, it just like I don't know, it just makes because it's just like kind of like if you write a whole bunch of super happy chords. So if you do a really depressing song, then you kind of have to like you're forced into using really depressing chords. But like if you like write a happy thing, you can kind of like use the like you can kind of, it doesn't necessarily have to be super happy. That's what I find anyway. So I can be like, oh, I can use super happy chords, but then do something that's more like, you know, maybe introspective as opposed to like specifically sad.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I think the thing is why I lean towards doing it that way. I mean, as I say, I've never tried doing lyrics first and then working backwards. Oh, so I suppose it'd be forward still, but to what I'm used to. Yeah.
So Hannah, what are you looking forward to most about being in Made Creative?
All of it. I don't really know if there's like one thing.
Oh, that's a good answer though.
That's a good answer.
It's like a bit of a trick, isn't it? It's like, oh, so what are you most excited for? Just like seeing something.
I'm most excited just to like, I was going to come up with sarcastic, but I can't think of one. It's all of it. It's like playing at churches. It's making worship music. It's like recording an album, being like, hey, I was like a part of making this. Like, you know, it's like the whole part, making like friends, family, you know, being able to go on a Tuesday night and know that I can talk about whatever I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah. Heck yeah. Oh, good answer. Whoa.
Smashing it. And because you write songs, at some point you're going to write songs with us as well, right? Like, is that...
Yeah. Sam, just remind me to double her pay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So 00.
Yeah.
Good. So
I was going to say
you've-
pay rise, but
I
I was
mean-
like, we'll just go double.
I mean, you've already written a bit of a song with Connor. What's it like to write a song with Connor?
It's good. I think we both, I don't know. I was also a bit nervous. I think now that I'm like working with the band, I kind of have like, can feel a bit more kind of thing. So I think I'd be a bit more comfortable to be like, oh, no, I don't really like sound alike or like something like, which I think we kind of struggled with in doing that at like when we wrote the song together.
Yeah.
Because we were like, this sounds good, but,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Oh, so you're not blunt like me. This
No.
sounds like trash.
Yeah.
Try again.
Yeah, basically. But no, it's good. It's good.
Hannah had to get used to my level of bluntness that I have with Connor that I don't have with anybody else typically,
Yes.
but it does come across. Of,
Yes.
That's good,
Connor, this
yeah.
doesn't sound good.
No, yeah, I think it's just the way you guys talk to each other. Obviously, I haven't been around you guys together in that situation before. So like when I first like joined band and then you guys were just like, I don't even remember one situation, but it was kind of just like, I think you were like, oh, I want to do this. And Sam was like, no, I don't want to do that. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just
Look,
gonna
I
sit
think
behind
like
the
I think
piano.
one of the excuse me, one of the things that's like super important is being able to explore the options, but also like that's why Sam's like allowed to be blunt with me because when we sat down, we were writing songs for the first time. I was like, because Sam hadn't written songs before, and I said to Sam like, look, one of the things is you got to let go of your feelings for ideas.
Yeah.
You have to be able to like be like, actually I don't think that's that good. I think we can do better. So, and it's never like your idea sucks. You know, that's not what it is. It's actually a look like whether maybe the idea is actually bad, right? Maybe it's just medium. Maybe it's actually even a good idea.
Maybe it
But-
sets you on the right track, but it's not the end result. You
That's
know, like-
exactly
Yes.
it. And it's just like a you because if it's the sort of response is from we can make this better. Like we can do better. Don't stop here.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is, and it's hard. It is really hard, especially when you like if you really really like something and you're like you're really proud because you're like, oh, I came up with this really cool idea.
Yeah.
But you got to let that pride sort of go. You got to let that go because if you get too attached to things, then you never get any better because you think you've got the right answer at the start, and it's almost never the case.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's a very good tip for anyone wanting to do anything creative collaboratively is don't get emotionally attached to ideas and be honest with each other and not get hurt about that. So like, me and Connor, but like with other people as well.
Yeah.
If we come up with an idea and it's not that great, it's all right. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just move on to the next thing. It's all good. It's
I
not a
think-
reflection on you as a person.
Yeah, you kind of explained it to me last week, which was really good. And it was, you said that at the end of the day, like you want what's best for the song. Like we all want
That's right,
what's
yeah.
best for the song. So if something, and like when you've got something right and everyone's like, yes,
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
sounds good.
And
So
then
if
like
it's-
the whole band's like erupts and
Yeah.
cheer. It was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's so good.
So if we don't have like that, and it's not going to happen every time, but like if you're not kind of feeling that, it comes down to being like, nah, maybe we should try something else and see if we can find something that works better.
Because when you hit the right thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know.
Especially with Connor. He just starts
Yeah.
dancing around like this little kid. He's
Yeah.
like, oh!
Yeah, let's go. It's so exciting though. Like, like even when like I remember there's one song. I'm trying to remember which song it was. Was it I think it may have been Fill This Place?
I wouldn't know.
It was in the first album recording and Luke it was in the first album recording and Luke was trying to do a drum part and we were just sort of writing it and trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And we must have sat there for like
It was Phil's place. It was his first time ever being in the band.
Yeah.
Oh,
we sat
really?
There, we sat there for 2
Crazy.
hours while he
Phil's place.
figured it out. And when we figured it out,
was.
boy oh boy, the celebration. Oh man,
Yes.
it was like receiving the spirit. It was amazing,
Yeah.
like
I think it was stronger with him.
No,
Coming
there
out of
was
the bridge.
both, but Phil, this place was the.
no, I think you're right, John.
No,
I think
it
John
was
might be
both.
right.
It was both.
It was both?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've had many a times.
I mean, Luke's had one on this album, this new
I
album.
was
Yeah,
about to
yeah,
say
yeah,
this
yeah.
new album. Now
Yeah.
every time when he plays it right, we're all like, yeah.
everyone's waiting for
Yeah.
it. It's so
Literally, I'm
good.
like, he
So
can do it, he can do it, he can do it.
stoked.
Yes.
He's starting to get it now. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
So,
it's good.
Yeah.
So good.
So Yeah, it's a really good thing to learn and know, and like the more secure you are in your identity as well, and that my identity isn't wrapped up in how good my idea is, so the easier it is to kind of just create good stuff.
Yeah. It's one of those things where many, 2 minds, 3 minds is like better than one. But if everyone's kind of like, everyone's a bit stern on their idea, it sort of turns into the whole like too many cooks spoil the broth. You know what I mean? Like if everyone's just trying to like force in their ingredient or their idea, then it kind of like, it doesn't work. It just kind of like ruins it. But if everyone's like willing to like be like work with it and be like, okay, cool, like we're all going to do our parts, and we're all going to still invest in everyone else's ideas, but not like dismiss them straight away, but also like explore it, and not just instantly agree with it. It's a balance, definitely. So Hannah, obviously, I technically met you when we were like little kids. Like my parents went to visit your parents in Queensland, and then I was so little, I hardly remember anything. I do remember some stuff, but for like, I don't even know. We had like one of those fridge magnets. Of you and your family.
Yeah, the good Team Missions fridge, please pray for us.
Please pray for us and support us. I used to see that every morning on the fridge. So, and then it was actually at volleyball one day. We just like randomly met. And
Esther invited me.
Yeah, Esther
I was like, I want to play
invited you.
volleyball. She's like, well, then just come along. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
And it was so random because like for the first 2 weeks I didn't even click.
Literally.
Yeah, for the first 2 weeks, and then I think I went home and I was talking to my dad, and I was like, and my dad was like, oh, so who actually plays volleyball with you? I'm like, oh, there's like a couple people. Oh, some of the Whisks, they play, and there's a girl there called Hannah, and my dad was like, last name? I was like, Simons. Yeah. And I was like, my dad just looks at me like I'm an idiot. Yeah. He goes, Hannah Simons. And I'm like, yeah, what? He's like, that you know her, and I was like, what do you mean? It was like, and then my dad was like, that's the same family. I was like, oh, I had no idea. So
literally,
so that was really cool because I remember coming to the volleyball and I was like, do you know we know each other already?
Yeah, because I think I have a feeling I ended up texting you because we just become like friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I friended a few people in like volleyball and stuff, and then I was like, Mum and Dad asked the same question, like, oh, so what are you doing tonight? And I was like, oh, I'm going to play volleyball, and I was like, here, like showed them, and they were like, you know the same thing. That's Connor Nash, and I was like, I don't know that.
Yeah.
So,
do you know, Joel, I find it funny just with them going on about that. I asked Connor if he had a question to ask Hannah. He takes 5 minutes to ask a question. It's not even a question.
It's cool. It's hang on. I didn't get to it.
Yeah,
sorry, Connor, what's your question? Please
he
go.
He hasn't taken 5 minutes to ask a question.
Sam, if you would kindly stop interrupting.
I'm sorry.
It'd be quicker if you stopped,
So obviously after that you were there throughout the whole time that Sam and I were writing, and you were kind of there for that whole like time when we were doing stuff, and we weren't even made creative at that time. It was just Sam and I hanging out writing songs. That's all it was. Because I think in the past you mentioned that you were like, oh, that'd be a cool thing to be a part of back then, right? So do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Maybe if there's something there, or
So I think when I first kind of heard you guys like talking about maybe creating a band and everything, I was like, that would be really cool. And so I was like, tried to be a little bit like a part. Every time you're like I was excited to hear your songs and everything, but I was also kind of like, hey,
okay, that's
I play piano, But then it didn't happen that way. And I think after, because like the whole volleyball situation, we all like stopped seeing each other at volleyball because we stopped playing volleyball, and then COVID and everything.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize that you guys didn't have a pianist.
Yeah, well, we did have a pianist, but she got a bit overwhelmed with life, and she just had to take a step back for a moment. And she still like comes and hangs out with us every now and again, which is really cool.
I met her for the first time the other day, which is really cool.
How did you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you didn't come to Macca's. That's right. Met her at Macca's.
Not sponsored.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll eat there every day. No, I won't.
No.
You're not loving it?
I'm not loving it. I would be a sick boy.
Yeah. It's just cool that there's like this sort of big roundabout, because like as you say, we played volleyball for a long time, and then I hadn't seen you for like a year at least, right? And then like, so once Kirsten was like, oh, I'm thinking about I'm not sure I can really continue. I'm still very busy and life's getting a bit over the top.
Yeah.
Sam and I needed obviously a pianist for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to go too much into your personal stuff. Unless you wanted to share, but yeah, I was like, for so long, I was like, I'm gonna ask Hannah, and then I was like, I know she's got this thing coming up. I'm gonna let that go, and then that happened, and then something interrupted that, and then I was like, oh no, when do I ask now? And that's why it kind of took so long for me to even ask you and whatever. And I was like, I just saw like, I think I don't know what it was. Did I message you someday or something? And I was just like, we should write music or
so I think we need to kind of explain my personal situation because it's kind of how it came about.
Yeah, okay.
But basically, I was supposed to get married in April of last year, and then 2 weeks before my wedding, my fiance had a motorbike accident and passed away. And then, that's when you were kind of going to ask me, like, after the wedding. Yeah, and then you were like, right. I'll leave it till after that. And then, obviously, then he passed away. And then you were like, well, I don't know what to do now.
I remember finding out. I was actually going on like a family vacation. And it just kind of like, I was like, whoa, this is heavy. And it was just kind of like, it consumed me the whole weekend. And I was just like, it was full on. So, yeah.
But I remember then, so from that, then I think it was like 3 or 4 months. No, not even. It might have been like about 3 months. I think you reached out and you said, hey, like,
I think I sent you a message the same day, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe, I think it was. I can't remember. I sent you a message though.
Yeah. No, and it was more so because you said that you woke up like late at night and you'd written that little thing, right. And you were like, hey, like, we should catch up and write a song together. And I was like, okay, cool. And then, we like caught up the first time.
Yeah, that's right.
Semi wrote something.
Yeah, Semi wrote something, and then we came
back together and finished it the second time, but actually like just ended up rewriting the whole thing.
That's right. Yeah, and that's kind of how it is sometimes. Yeah. I remember that song really got me because like I don't know how to explain this, but I literally felt it was like I felt as if it was Caleb being like, yo, I need you to give this to Hannah.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, I remember talking to Sam about it. I was like, this is actually like, this isn't our Made Creative song. Like, this is not for us.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, it's so important. I have to write this song with Hannah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, we really need a pianist, and Hannah's like super talented. So I was like, yeah, she discredits herself, but she really is super talented. And I was like,
we'll just wait till the album comes out.
I have to get it. I have to ask. I mean, it's so frustrating because I was like, because the whole thing is, like, you can't just like, you don't want to interrupt people in their life already, because if they're like too busy and then they try and take on something a little bit more, then it's just kind of like, it's never going to work out. So you've got to give people in like the right space.
And I don't think I was, if you'd asked me any sooner, I don't think I would have been ready for it.
Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. Like,
because, I think definitely life had to change a lot.
Yeah,
obviously.
Absolutely.
And so it's kind of like me learning how to live, like, not live because we weren't living together, but like live without Caleb around and like having him there. And like, obviously we were 2 weeks to the wedding. So it was kind of like we had our future, the next.
You had everything organized.
Yeah, everything organized and stuff like that. So then kind of having to go, whoa, that's not going to happen. What's my life going to look like now? So I think if you had asked me any sooner, I still would have been I might have joined and been like, yeah, I can do this. And then got halfway through and been like,
this is too much. Yeah, this is too much. Yeah, it's funny because like had it been that way, I would have totally understood. Like I totally would have been like, and I would have blamed myself. No, because I mean, by the grace of God, he gave me good timing.
Yeah.
But I would have been like, I should have just hanged out with her and I spent time with her instead of like trying to just recruit her.
No.
That's why I was like, I really want to write a song with her too, because like I just want to show that I'm just a friend also. Like I just want to come hang out. I'm not just like being nice to you because I think you're talented.
I remember why you text me actually. No, it's because I write when I am feeling stuff. I posted that like a video of me writing a song,
and it was so good. Yeah, it was really good.
And that was just like one of my songs to Caleb and stuff, and I was like wanted to share it because like my story is not like
I've watched.
There's a lot of people out there.
I don't think you realize how many times I've genuinely watched that. Like I don't know. I'd probably go like 50 times at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's like because it's very raw, and I think that's what's very like what I find attracts me to it.
Yeah.
It's that like it's like it is really it's straight up. There's
Yeah.
there's no marketing. There's nothing else around that. That is just like purely
Yeah.
description of your heart.
Yeah, and I think that's how I kind of write, which is why most of my songs, even though like I share them, and I hope that through what my story and kind of what I've gone through that I can help other people, and hopefully I can help them through music. And so that's why I kind of every now and then I'll share one of my songs that I write, because I'll be like, okay, like this one's raw, but at the same time other people might be able to relate to it in a different, like in certain ways.
Yeah.
You know, like they might be able to relate to, like I might be talking in one of my songs, like, you know, I say, today is our wedding day. And all of that. Like people can't really necessarily relate to that, but then later on I'm talking about how much I miss him and all of that, and people can relate to that because other people have lost people as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think like you're so incredibly like brave. I know it's like cliche thing to say, but like the way that you talk to people about it, it's like you don't care about trying to preserve something of yourself. You're just like, I'm just going to be a new person, and I'm going to I'm going to try and help others still.
Yeah.
Like even through it all, like, you know what I mean? Like even through it all, it's just like that, like striving. It's like, oh yeah, like I've had tragedy. Like I can dwell in it, or I can show others how to get out of it, or show others that you're not the only one.
Well, I think that's always been like mine and Caleb's mindset together. We had like planned to like help youth and stuff like that. Like we could not wait till like when we got married, like start up, helping like we've got quite a few young couples that are happening in my friend group, and we couldn't wait to have them all over for like lunch or like dinner,
cool.
and you know, just like be able to do stuff with them. And so like for my mentality and how I like move forward is kind of like just being like, how can I help? Like if I need to, not need, but like I get joy out of helping people and like seeing other people be happy and stuff like that. So I want to make other people happy. I hate being sad and seeing sad people.
Yeah, I think like that's like an example, like just sort of like it's like restoring, right? Like you want to restore people.
Yeah.
I think that's like a typical Jesus, like following in Jesus' footsteps, right? Like restoring people and like, you know, healing people in whatever like whatever capacity that is.
Yeah. You always want people to be the best version of themselves, and if I can help them be that,
if you can give them the opportunities to do that, it's like it's like I think it was I can't remember who told me this. It may have been my dad, but I'm not sure. But he was like, sometimes giving actually isn't you giving of yourself, but it's actually giving people opportunities to give.
Yeah,
can actually be the gift as well.
Yeah,
100%. And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty interesting, because like it's like really easy to get in the mindset, especially like when you're younger. You just like, you know, you want to make everyone happy and be really nice to everyone and whatever. But sometimes it's actually not about you doing things for someone else, but actually giving them the chance to do good for someone else. And I guess that's part of discipleship as well.
So tell me some things that got you through the last year, you know, like from God and stuff, like with everything going on, what got you through?
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of things. There's a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's a variation of everything.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
grief is like one of those things where it's like you honestly don't know how you're going to feel. And everyone, and I think even through this process, I've seen how differently everybody grieves. And so my way of grieving is that I'm not a sad person. I don't like being sad. And so I find it really hard to show that part of emotion. And so I'll usually kind of tend to overcompensate and be very happy. But a lot of the time I am genuinely happy. But I think my coping kind of thing was just being with people. I'm a super social person.
Hannah, I've not noticed that about you at all.
What?
I think it's probably why we get along well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
pretty similar.
100%.
Very social.
So like my battery recharges by me hanging out with people, which I know is not very similar to yours, but you know,
It's fine.
no, it's good. But yeah, so there's definitely times where like I need alone time. It's not very often, but it does happen. So yeah, I think friends, family. I think I remember like the day it all kind of happened like really well, which is not great, but you know, and then even the 2 weeks to follow that, like, well, even the first 3 days were kind of like massive kind of after his accident. I had so much support, which was crazy. Almost there's like, I think you kind of get bombarded with text messages and everything. And like, honestly, I don't think I would want, like, you know how people kind of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't message them because it would be too much. Like, it was good to see all the messages coming in, even though I may not have replied to it. It's just like, you can go back later and be like, wow, and even thank that person later when you're in the mindset to thank them. But knowing that like they care and stuff. And then I think definitely, just spending time with God and just like, you know, I don't think there was a point where I was mad at God. I didn't want to be, and I like made sure that, because it's not God's fault. God didn't look at me and go, I'm going to take Caleb away from you.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like he would not do that.
Yeah.
It's his accident was him going around a corner, and we don't know. Nobody was around. He was found on the side of the road, which is really, that has been a process for me to go through, because he, like, you know, that he was alone kind of thing. And he wasn't, he didn't pass away on the side of the road. He passed away in the ambulance. So like he wasn't alone then. But, you know, for that first little bit he was. And so that's like hard. But I think just you definitely ask the question, why? Like, why me? Why at all? And so working through those feelings and kind of going to like God and being like, I'm not mad at you, but like, why?
Yeah.
Like he was an insanely cool guy and like was just awesome. And I could see him going incredible places, like insanely smart, talented. Even though he was quiet, everybody knew him. Like our funeral, so we had the funeral on the wedding day at the same time in the same place, and I walked him down the aisle. That was which was also really hard, and not many people can, like, you know, that's an experience that I really cherish, because there's not many people out there that can say that. But like, yeah, it's really sad, but at the same time, it was kind of what I needed. I wanted it on the wedding day because I was like, I still want this to happen. I got in a white dress, and then my bridesmaids and groomsmen still got like dressed up, and it wasn't the wedding at all. We tried to make it not the wedding, but we made it like a little bit like it, because that's what he would have wanted. But yeah, I do my whole thing of like where I go on this spiel, and then I forget where I was.
I was just asking what got you through it,
Yeah,
and
that's
especially with God, like, how did that? Yeah,
I think, as I said, asking the question why, but then really taking the time and like reading your Bible, and music got me through insane. Just being able to write music, but listen to worship music, and there's a lot like, so Jeremy Camp, he's really cool. The movie I Still Believe really gets you. But that was obviously his wife got cancer, and then she passed away. Spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't seen the movie.
Damn it.
And then how he writes like the music, and his music from that, he writes like a song called I Still Believe. And that has been one of like my songs that I play over and over, because I just like, whenever I'm in that mindset of like, why, I just have to go, I still believe. I still believe. And because I do. Like, you know, even though there's definitely been low periods in there, and it's been, you know, definitely a period of growth. I think friends, God, obviously, and then my dog.
dogs are great.
Theo is, oh my goodness.
I almost brought Abby in today.
You should have. We could have had like a
One
little
day
dog.
I'll have a dog.
Yeah.
Abby got me through my horrible depression. So yeah, dogs are awesome for that sort of
They
stuff.
really are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think was it someone at your mum's church or something that had actually had a vision or a dream?
A prophetic word.
Word, yeah. That
Yeah.
it was that a dog would walk Sam out of a dark place.
What?
And then sure enough, shortly up, because your mum was really resistant to getting a dog, right?
Yeah, it was that she was like, because my mum my mum doesn't like animals.
Yeah.
And we'd had a dog and it hadn't gone well before.
Yeah.
And so this friend was like, I would never say this to you, but I felt like God said to me that Sam needs a dog right now, and that it was going to bring joy to the family and healing to the family, not just him.
Way. Yeah.
And so the crazy thing was, so the joy was the big thing from that word. And so we went through the process, we found Abby, we got Abby. And then when I was picking names before we picked her up, my sister and my mum was just reading out names, and I went, I like Abby. I can't even remember if they read it out, but I just said Abby is the one. And then mum was like, I want to give her a middle name. And I was like, this is the weirdest thing in the world. She was like, I want to call her Abby Joy because she's brought joy into the house. And that was great. And then we looked up the meaning of the name Abby.
Yeah.
And it's the joy of the Lord.
No
and
way.
really? I didn't know that.
And
That's
so
awesome.
she was a double portion of joy for both me
Wow.
and healing
That's
for mum,
amazing.
who
So
loves her absolutely and
Yeah.
Yeah.
adores her now.
Yeah.
Abby has her own Instagram page.
Yes,
And,
I have seen it. So does Theo though.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, I need to follow
I didn't
Theo
even
on
know that.
Instagram.
It's not. I don't use it super.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
I need to use it more. I've planned to, but
Yeah. So yeah, it's I attest to the animal
oh yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah. That was like so. When I lost my horse, I had about 4 months where I didn't have an animal, and I kind of got to the point where they were like, okay, she really needs something that I could put my love into, kind of thing. Because my love language is physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation.
Yeah, that's my top 3 as well.
Yeah, top 3. So
That's why a dog's great for me.
yes, literally, because Theo is so incredibly physical touch. So I had him
Yeah.
from when he was like 6 weeks old. And basically, he's just been like, no one else really in my family will get up at 5:30 before they go to work just to go to the beach for half an hour and come back. And it's like, literally, I could like wake up, look at Theo, and he's like, let's go.
Let's go.
And so it's just like, for me, that was just like, that's what I needed.
Yeah,
just that's something that, not something, but like him to be able to just like be my best buddy.
Yeah.
We've actually vaguely talked about you incognito in the past, like in a podcast a while ago when I was sharing my testimony.
Yeah.
And one of the things that shook me a little bit was about the whole thing is like I had also been in a car accident, and like the fact that I survived that was an absolute miracle, like inarguably like miracle.
Yeah.
And I wrote a song called Here. And the whole point of Here was like, I don't know why I'm still on, like, so I don't know why I'm still alive, but I'm gonna pursue the purpose that you've put before me. And then I asked myself, I was like, why me and not Caleb? I know that's like a bit like selfish to say, but like that's something that like still confuses me, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because I could have easily been gone in that same time.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm still here.
Yeah. And I think I've had quite a few people say that to me. Even my own brother came up to me like 2 days after, and he was like, I wish God had taken me so that you could still have Caleb. And I was like, don't even say that. And so I think my biggest thing for me when people say that to me is just like, you're still here, meaning that God still wants you here. And like you have like the power to be able to like do something.
Yeah.
And I think like being like making Made Creative and stuff is like awesome, and like you're like on the road to that, which is like really cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring it up. This is the connection from the old podcast. So, but yeah,
I remember watching it. I went back and watched it after you told me, because you told me when we caught up for that, like, writing that song, and I was like, oh,
yeah. So I don't know. It was just like it's such a selfish thing to say, but like.
It's self-reflection though.
Yeah, it's all reflection, It's supposed to be for growth, and just like trying to understand things better.
Yeah, and I think I've got a friend's wedding coming up, and I'm writing a song for it and playing it there, and I'm not sure how I want it to sound, but my thing that I've always said is, if from my story my biggest thing can be to just like take pride, or not take pride, but like just focus on the little things and like enjoy the little things, hug that person, be able to just take, and like sunsets and sunrises for me are just like, our last moment together was watching a sunrise. And so for me, every time there's like an amazing sunrise, I just like, that's like, just kind of feel him there. And so like, and like if there's anything that I can like say from my story, is just like, just remember those small moments and big moments and cherish them, because one day you might like not wake up, or like wake up and that person is not there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We love Hannah. She's the best.
She is actually one of the best people I know. Straight up, it's not even like Sam can compliment you, but if I do, if I'm genuine, you're like nah. But you are like, because
you're so sincere. I know that Sam's sincere.
Wow.
No, but like you put
I don't
so
have a good
much
rep with
emphasis
Hannah.
behind it.
It's because I mean it. That's
I know.
That's, the whole thing is like it's like you're like you have like the attitude of, oh, I may not be having a good time, but that doesn't mean that everyone around me has to either.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna like build up and love on people no matter what my mood is, and
Yeah.
no matter how down I am, I'm still gonna try and lift people up. Like that's something I wish every single person I meet would have. Can you imagine how much love everyone would have for each other?
But it's also not great. Sometimes there's a coping mechanism. So there
Sure.
are times that you need
For
to
yourself.
come
Yeah,
back,
yeah, for
and
sure.
be like,
Yeah.
okay, you know, like you get that one friend that comes up to you and be like, "Are you overcompensating today?" And I'll be like, No. What do you mean? And then we'll have like a real talk, and I'll be like, yeah. And then like once I like talk about it a little bit, then I like come out and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go again. Let's go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like I mean, you definitely need time to process, but
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I don't have a good rep with Hannah because she like
What do you mean?
she was like, she was like to you because you sounded sincere, like I wasn't sincere. Oh my goodness! Like, I think Hannah's awesome. Oh, it sounds sarcastic. Sam said it.
No, I know that you mean it, but it's like usually Connor, I don't know. Connor butted in after you, and so like
It's too much, right? The double is too much for you.
I love giving out compliments, and like I love giving love. I love love, and I said that today in the cafe. Someone was like, "Why do you love love?" And I was like, "I love love."
why can you not love love?
Exactly.
That's
love
the whole
is
point. It's love.
Is this the same thing as me, where I like to pray for people, but I don't like to be prayed for?
Very it would
maybe.
be like that. I loved it, like giving out compliments. Like literally, if someone smells nice or whatever, like I don't even care. I'd be like, dude, you smell nice. Like like honestly, everyone thinks it's so weird. I'm like, it's not weird. Like if you like someone's dress, compliment on their dress.
This is why we keep Hannah around. It just helps us.
She's like great for morale.
Yeah, great for morale. Anyway, so you can find us on Facebook at Made Creative. You can find us on Instagram at Made Creative Worship. You can find us on Spotify at Made Creative.
Do you want to plug Abby's Insta?
You can find Abby
Yeah.
on her Instagram.
And Theo.
Theo, links below.
That may be the most important thing right there. But yeah, we're really excited to have Hannah on. She's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. I've been Sam.
I'm Connor.
Oh, and I'm Hannah.
I'm Joel.
Yeah, Joel's here.
I feel like if I do an intro, someone has to do an outro.
Here we go.
No, I'm not doing it.
Let's go.
Oh, is that the time I need to go?
Have a great week.
Yeah.